my kitchen. So when we're in Florida, we always visited the public supermarket, and I always pick up this almond pop pastries. It's my husband's favorite because it's so delicious. Today I'm going to show you how to make these pastries, and I'm going to add pressed pears on it. So let's get started, guys. Okay, for our pastry fillings, we'll be needing 1 and 1/2 cup of almond flour. To that, we'll be adding 113 grams of unsalted butter. We're going to melt this butter. You also be needing 2 large egg, which is, room temperature egg. And then 1/2 cup of sugar. You can see it there. And we'll also be needing a zest of lemon, like about 1 teaspoon. And then to that, we'll be adding 2 teaspoons of almond extract and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So that's basically what we need in order to make the fillings. Alright, guys? Okay, let's start to beat our 2 eggs, and then we can add the other wet ingredients together. So yeah, let's combine all of those ingredients. Alright, guys? The last ingredients that we have to add in this filling mixture is the almond flour. Alright. So after beating our egg and mixing it, we have to add now the butter and the sugar, the vanilla extract, the almond extract, as well as the zest. So we're just going to combine it using our whisk so far because it's still in the wet ingredients. And then afterwards, when it's totally beat or mixed together, we can then add the almond flour. Alright, guys, so very easy mixing process. So before I add the almond flour, now it's time to switch the tools and use the spatula instead of using the whisk. So it's much easier to combine the almond flour with the wet ingredients, as you can see here, guys. So make sure you properly incorporate the wet and the dry ingredients, and then you can set aside the filling. So mix, mix, mix. So after you finish mixing the almond flour, so this is how your filling look like. Okay, guys? Then you can set it aside. We'll also be needing some slices of almond. So we're going to incorporate these once we put the fillings inside the pastries, and we're gonna put it in the top of the pastries. However, we'll also be needing pears. So I'm going to slice it, but I'm not going to remove the skin. And then we'll put it inside the fillings when we do the pastries. Alright, guys? Also be using a frozen pop pastries. This is the pop pastries that you can buy on the frozen section at your grocery store. So in one box, there are about 2 sheets on there. So however, I overthrow it, so my pop pastry become a little bit soggy and soft, so don't do that. Anyway, I might use only one from these bags. However, I still have an extra that I can use. So yeah, it's hard to work when it's overthrow. Alright, guys? It's interesting to work on a frozen pop pastries because it's my first time to use it, and I learned a lot after I made a mistake. Okay, it's time now to roll our pastry. So you have to scoop a decent amount of the fillings that, the one that we mix and set aside before. So you scoop that and put it to your pop pastries. Yeah, and then spread it a little bit, but not too wide. And then after we put the fillings, we can just add the slices of pears. So I think I can put 2. I still have room for another one, so I'll make it 3. Yeah, so put that together there, and then you overlap to close it. You can see here, very, very simple. Yeah, so that's very easy. Isn't it easy? Very easy. So then the next step is to add some more fillings on the top. So spread that. So you can see what I'm doing. Spread that so it's gonna be all delicious. It's gonna melt in your mouth and it's yummy. So once you spread some more fillings on the top, you have to add, which is the fun part, is to add the So you can spread the fillings on the top thinly, and then we can then add the slices of almond, guys. That's a fun part. Continue working on the rest of the other pastries until you use all the remaining. I think I was able to cut only 4 for this one sheet because the rest are too soggy. So afterwards, I'm going to put that on the tray with the parchment paper. So yeah. Okay, I was able to make 4 pop pastries. So now the next step is to brush it with cream. I'm using a 35% cream, so I'm going to brush it all of the 4, and then afterwards, after I brush these pastries, I'm going to shove it into the refrigerator or to the freezer, and then I'm just gonna start preheating my oven to 375 degrees. So we're going to bake these pastries between 30 to 35 minutes. Alright, so while the oven is preheating, your pastries start cooling in your refrigerator. So make sure it is really cold before you put it into oven, because that's the only way that this pastry will pop and becoming crunchy. Okay, once your oven reaches 375 degrees, we're ready to bake our pastry. So make sure you have to put your baking dish into the middle rack and then bake it between 30 to 35 minutes. Alright guys? Okay, I also prepared 2 tablespoons of apricot jelly or jam, and then I added 1 tablespoon of water, and then once the pastry came out, I brushed it with the apricot. You can see here. So yeah, it added colors to your pastry. Alright guys? Since I have a lot more of fillings and I have some pop pastries, so I'm going to make a smaller version of my pastries. So yeah, but instead of putting 3 slices of pear, I'm probably gonna put only 1, and then afterwards I'm going to sprinkle it with slices of almond as well, as you can see here. Yeah. Also guys, you can always roll your pastries or create a design on your pastry, whatever you like. But for the meantime, this is what I like to do with my pastries. A similar kind of rolling, but in a much smaller version. I bet you this is gonna turn out cute once it bakes. I can't wait to see how this little one going to turn out. Oh yeah, the little one turned out nice as well, and yeah, I follow exactly the same baking procedures, and now I'm brushing it with apricot jam and water, and it's look good. I will put it in the cooling tray and then cool it first before I can toss it with icing sugar and serve it with my husband because he said he can wait to taste the little one as well. Now I can say that making your own almond pop pastry is easy, and guys, it tastes much better and it's so delicious. Anyway, I hope you can make these pastries as well. So I like to say thank you to all of you, to all the viewers on my channel, to all the new subscribers on my channel. Thank you very, very much, and I'll see you around on my next video. Take care everyone. Bye for now.